Welcome back to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. As we continue to break through 2024, we now are blessed to have on the line with us for the first time in 2024 our guru of all things. That is none other than Coach Van Pettaway. Coach, how you doing, and Happy New Year, sir?
Happy New Year to you, Doc, and I'm doing great. I'm just so happy. I'm grateful that the Lord has given us an opportunity to see another year.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to another fruitful year, bountiful blessings, sir.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, since last year that we spoke, there's still some uncertainties and a lot of new twists and wrinkles in the world of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Where do we begin, Coach?
Well, I think, let's stay close to home first. Texas Southern, I don't think the powers to be, I don't think they have come to a conclusion as to what direction they want their program to go in, because the last that I heard, they still had not, after a second board meeting, they still have not determined what they want to do.
Well, I think they've determined, but they're trying to keep it close to the vest, if you would, from the way things are shaping. Apparently, Andre Johnson, former Houston Texan, has expressed an interest in this thing. However, he did not have the qualifications of, having a bachelor's degree. So it appears that they may be doing some stall tactics, they being the board, to get their guy vetted, or they can go ahead and dub him the new man. It appears. That's what it appears. I could be way off, though, Coach.
Well, I'm just, if one of the qualifications is to have a bachelor's degree, I'm trying to figure out how are they going to magically produce one if he doesn't have one.
Well, in the infamous words of Don King, only in America. Things can happen. For all we know, he could have been taking some online courses, and you could be, and I'm not discrediting Andre Johnson at all, but, Coach, you can get life experience added to the degree that you've already had, and you can get a degree relatively simple today within a matter of having the right connections and the right amount of dollar signs, sir.
Well, you know what? You might be right in that situation, but that's just unfortunate, and I think it sends the wrong message.
Well, it does. It sends a confusing message internally and externally to those who do happen to drop by and see what we're doing in the world of HBCU. The question, at least for me at the top, is what are the options for Coach McNair?
Wow, he's in a tough situation because even if their plan A, which is Johnson, falls through, and they say, well, we'll bring Coach McNair in, now you're in a situation where coming in that they don't really want you there.
Right.
And that's tough. That's tough on anyone. So, with the next thing that we're going to talk about, there's a possibility there for him with Florida A&M being open now. But I don't know if that's going to be something that Florida A&M would be interested in, because it's my understanding that the players already want one of the assistants to be the next head coach.
Yes, sir. He has 23 years of experience, has been very close to Willie Simmons and the operation of his system, and they have really rallied around him to say, if we have a say-so, this is who we're choosing. So remove the interim and let's move forward.
Right. So that's just a tough situation for Coach McNair to be in. But I do know that if he's got an agent or an attorney, that he probably does have an opportunity to seek legal action, because I'm quite sure he would not have left Alcorn without knowing or being told that he had that position. And I think I know here in Alabama, if a person of authority at that institution presents that contract, then it's binding. So if I were him, I'd make sure that my attorney is on top of everything.
Absolutely. They're at the starting gate right now. As soon as you don't even have to hit the official gun to set the race off, we going down the journey. So it's a tangled mess. But then we have another, what some might consider tangled mess, but the adventures of Willie Simmons resigning at FAMU, now moving toward Duke. As I've asked anyone who has a know-how and a say-so in all this, what's your view of these latest moves?
Well, to me, that's a no-brainer. If he has aspirations of becoming a head coach outside of the SWAC, this is a great career move for him. Some people are saying, well, he's going from a head coach to a position coach, but he's doing it at a Power 5 school, which will give him a leg up, because if he can go into Duke and they become successful, I guarantee you he will be one of the next coaches, assistant coaches at Duke, to land another job. Now, I'm not saying he's going to land a Power 5 job, but he could definitely get in the group of 5 and a job that will elevate his career faster than Florida A&M. So I applaud him for weighing all his options, and I think he picked the best option.
Yes, sir.
There's familiarity with the head coach. They coached before together. Diaz's son was on his staff at Florida A&M, so there's a lot of history there. So I think it's a great move. And then the other thing that people don't understand, he'll be making more money as a position coach than as a head coach at Florida A&M.
More money, less stress.
Yes, absolutely.
So
win for he and his family.
Absolutely. Now, I do know that we as HBCU fans, and all fans, they get emotional, especially when it comes to business decisions being made. But when you're looking out, not only for yourself, your family, and your future family, as you say, this was a no-brainer, and you wish him well. And it could be an opportunity for him to possibly leave a crack in the door for some others to come along and get a chance to spread their wings, just like with what Deion Sanders did with Coach Dancy from Mississippi Valley.
Correct.
So it's as I said, we off to a quick bang in this 2024 season. Now, before I transition, because this is a big weekend, SWAC basketball starts up, but I can't let you off the hook just yet, Coach. Just yet.
I know. Bring it on. You bet.
Oh, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I will rub your nose in it just a little bit. How about that Roll Tide, Coach? How about that Roll Tide?
Well, I'm sort of disappointed. We failed to accomplish our mission, which was to win the national championship by allowing the Michigan Wolverines to win the semifinal game. We made too many errors. We had too many mistakes. And we missed the boat on some fundamental things that you do at the start of camp. We couldn't get the ball from the center to the quarterback in the right manner on too many occasions in that game. So we didn't deserve to win the game because we did not come in there prepared to win.
Well, I was told coming up, Coach, that pressure bust pipes.
Yes, absolutely. You told the right thing.
Yes, sir. And, I dubbed this actually the Mafia Bowl, Coach, between Michigan and Alabama. Alabama were the bullies and Michigan was the cheaters, and so they just kind of sorted it out for them two to battle it out. But I will say this, it was a very entertaining game all the way to the end, and I don't really want to hear anything coming by the way of Tallahassee, Florida, i.e. Florida State University. They need to be on mute for about 10 years, Coach, with that drumming they receive. And Georgia, if anything, made a statement beyond statements, if you ask me, that how dare you not allow us to be in that playoff.
Right. I promise you, they did an outstanding job. They showed the world that they should be in the playoff, and they showed the world why Florida State should not even be in there. Even be. Yeah. It was great. And then when you look at the other semifinal, it went down to the last play also.
Yes, sir, no doubt.
Yeah, Texas and Washington. So now we're going to be looking at a championship game where Washington is taking on Michigan, and the Crimson Tide in me wants Washington to win that game. So we need a little payback.
You got a little chip on your shoulder, huh, Coach?
Yeah.
Well, although I don't have a dog in the fight, I am on the record for rolling with the Huskies, and it's going to probably sound so silly why I'm going to roll with them, but I'll let it go. Somewhat of a sentimental value that it is the last time that the Pac-12 will be known as the Pac-12. And they're going out, transitioning to a new journey, and I think that's kudos for the conference itself. But the most important factor why I'm leaning toward the Huskies is because they remind me of my beloved Prairie View A&M University Panthers with their color scheme and their representation. And so for that reason, I'm saying go Huskies.
All right, well, we're on the same boat. We're starting 24 off. Right, because we're both in agreement.
So we're walking in harmony, Coach. We're walking in harmony. Okay. Well, look, let us continue to walk in harmony and talk about the SWAC basketball season. Even though we officially had started off back in November with some non-conference play, but as I say, all the preliminaries are out of the way. Now it's time for the second season. And we got some pretty good matchups to start off. And don't look now, but from both men and women's division, Bethune-Cookman coming in, setting the tone.
Oh, yes. I told you that early on, that the prognosticators did not pick them on the women or the men's side to do very much. And in the preseason, they have had some great wins on both sides. And Bethune-Cookman, I guess Reggie Theus has gotten that department straightened out, because they are really doing it when it comes to the sport of basketball. And I look forward to this entire SWAC season. I think this might be one of the most competitive seasons out there. On the women's side, Jackson State has been running away with this thing. I don't think they're going to have such an easy time with it this year. And then on the men's side, it's anybody's game. It's anybody's opportunity to just put a stranglehold on the SWAC championship.
No doubt about it.
Favorite.
Well, look, I know that the SWAC has their preseason predictions and things of that nature. Are you going to go out on it's not necessarily the eve of the basketball regular season start, but who do you feel is going to have an outstanding surprise season from each division?
Well, I think right now what's being shown so far on the women's side, I think Bethune-Cookman is going to surprise some people, because they put together a pretty good resume in the non-conference schedule, and I think they will come around and shock some people. And then on the men's side, I think we're sleeping on Jackson State. I really think that they're sleeping on Jackson State.
Okay, due to they've already had some great upsets early in this season, so are they necessarily sleeping on them, Coach?
Well, in preseason, they didn't pick them very high, so that's why I'm thinking that they're going to come around. I mean, Jackson State, Southern have probably pulled off some of the top non-conference wins that we've had, along with Bethune-Cookman. So I know they slept on Bethune-Cookman, but I just think that Jackson State has shown in the preseason that they're going to be somebody that you're going to have to deal with. Now, Texas,
no doubt,
out the gate, I think they've only won one game thus far, and I don't think that they're going to have the horses down the stretch, the depth down the stretch to duplicate what they did last year. Because remember now, last year Texas Southern got hot down the stretch and just won the tournament, but they won the tournament with a losing record.
Right. They did win the tournament. You know, we kind of talked about that a couple of weeks ago about this reward for winning the regular season. And we had a couple replies from people that listen to the show. They said that if the team that's hot in the tournament win, then let them go. If they wasn't good enough to win from regular season to the tournament, then shame on them. How you feel about that, Coach?
Well, I think with the new expansion, we're gonna find out that the NC2A is probably gonna go with regular season champs. I think when the new expansion comes into play, they're gonna choose that regular season champ to get that automatic qualifier, and that's gonna lessen some of these conference tournaments.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay. Well, if that is the case,
because you already have one bid leagues now.
Right.
Yeah, you get.
Well, then, go ahead, Coach. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying you have one bid leagues now. So if your regular season champion gets upset in your conference tournament, and that automatically goes to that regular season champion, you're not gonna get another team in.
Okay, then. Well, let me ask you this: what would be the relevancy of having your tournament?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it's going to impact. It's going to impact the tournaments because it's going to lessen the importance of the tournament. And the way some of these ADs, the way some of these presidents and ADs think, they're not going to want to spend that money to go to a tournament when they know that there's a good chance that their teams are not going to advance.
Wow. So out the window goes the cliche, we want the tournament for the student-athlete experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, let's look in the future. They do that. Do you see the tournaments dissolving immediately or gradually?
No. It'll be a gradual thing. And no, I don't think anybody's going to come out that first year and say, well, we're not going to even have a tournament. I think it'll be gradual. And it'll start with the one bid leagues. They'll be the first to do it. Some of those other leagues, they'll keep their tournament because those teams can improve their resumes for that.
Okay.
Bid. Yep.
Okay. So then as an AD, as a coach, how do you change your strategy? I guess you just put more emphasis on winning the regular season, and I guess you'd be in high gear a little bit more, because some people, it appears they're coasting just to qualify for the tournament and then hope they can catch lightning in the bottle.
Right. So, yeah, that's the way you're going to have to do it. You have to put your more emphasis on the regular season, and then what that does for people, that takes those teams that wait to the end. It'll make them reevaluate how they schedule. I think scheduling is going to be a big impact on this, because what has to happen, your non-conference schedule now has to be competitive enough to where you rank higher in the net. In other words, in your overall ranking of your team and your strength of schedule, that's the only other thing that you're going to have to go off of for the committee to look at, to even consider you for an at-large berth. So I think that'll come into play. I think that will really come into play. How they schedule, Yep.
It appears that things are constantly changing, as they always do when it comes to our world of athletics in the collegiate realm. But we'll keep a close monitor to see exactly how this come about. Now, Coach, I need you to help me out. I've got it's not a major problem, but it's almost like a little desire, and it makes all the sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to everyone else when I express or try to explain it to them. I believe from a logistical standpoint, an economical standpoint, and just plain old simple mother wit, that somehow, some way, we need to work out a deal with the city of Shreveport, Louisiana, for some of our championship games to be played, in particular, maybe basketball. I like the way the football structure is set up with the higher seed hosting, but our basketball and possibly baseball, softball tournaments, because of the location and the potential of cost reduction. Help me make sense of that, Coach.
Well, no, they already make sense to it when you look at what they do in volleyball, and I think soccer does it also, where they do the satellite thing where they play games at a regional site. You know, like I know for a fact in volleyball, you'll have 4 or 5 conference teams show up at one site, and they play that weekend. That way, is the cost is cost effective, and they get the number of required games in. So I think it's a great model, and they got to do that in other sports, especially the non-revenue sports. They do it in bowling also. They call it the roundup. They call them roundups.
Roundups or clusters or whatever they call them. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I'm in agreement with you that we need to look at that. Now, is Shreveport, is that the central location, or is Jackson a central location?
Well, a central neutral location where no school would have somewhat of an advantage technically, even though, Shreveport is right down the road from Grambling. But when you look at the only schools who would be affected majorly travel-wise would be Bethune-Cookman and FAMU.
Correct.
Okay. But I don't know.
Help them. The conference should help them.
Right, offset some of their travel or whatever, whether it's about 50% or lodging, whatever the case may be, to get that done. And but it's got to be some type of sweet spot that the conference and the city of Shreveport can get together and work out something.
I agree, because financially the Shreveport would benefit from having those championships there because of the fans that would be in attendance and that kind of thing. I think it's an idea that the conference should look at, and you're not far off with that because like I said, they're doing something similar to that now during the regular season for bowling and volleyball.
Right. I know bowling meets in Arlington.
Right.
For the championship, and it's a good deal. But I just
not talking about during regular season. Now they don't just meet.
Oh yeah,
think about this.
Right.
They have the clusters during regular season, so that you don't have all that travel's not involved. They do it on the east and the west. Well, correct.
Right. Well, do you think that? I guess as far as stretch for moving the tournament, the basketball tournaments to Shreveport, or keep it in Birmingham. Well, I know to your travel advantage, Birmingham is a hop, skip, and a jump for you.
Right. But no. See, here's the thing. I think the commitment that the SWAC made to Birmingham, they have to keep some championships there. I think it has something to do with how the building, where the SWAC headquarters is located, the commitment that the city of Birmingham makes to the SWAC. Remember, we moved the football game from there, so they've got to do something in Birmingham since they have that in their agreement some kind of way.
Well, we have our media day. That's not good enough, Coach.
Oh no, they want revenue. The city of Birmingham is looking for paying customers to come to town and eat some food and stay in them hotels.
I know that's right. What they say, tax base, baby, tax base. Feed my tax base. We're talking right now with Coach Van Pettaway our first conversation of 2024. And Coach, I want you to give me an event that you're hoping to break through for 2024 as you look into your crystal ball.
Well, I would like to see our SWAC basketball tournament have better attendance. I would like to see that be the breakout thing for the spring. I would like to see the city of Birmingham and the SWAC institutions to have their fans to come out en masse and let's sell out Bartow Arena for our SWAC tournament.
Okay. Do you have a planned proposal that can help increase that number?
I think we have to do a better job of marketing at our home institutions. I don't think we push it enough, and I can only speak for what's happening here in Huntsville. We can do a better job of promoting the SWAC tournament.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think each institution has to take it upon themselves to add the SWAC tournament as to be more responsible with promoting the SWAC tournament.
Well, I just thought about something, Coach. In most cases, that tournament is held around spring break. And what if you had a marketing team and a promotional team to kind of have a spring break theme centered around the tournament in Birmingham, inviting all involved institutions?
I think it would be great. They could, I don't like the name, but, they could have a thing like, well, it was only called one thing. It used to be called Freaknik. It started in Atlanta, then it moved down to Florida. They need to try something of that concept, not that name, but that concept, around the SWAC tournament.
Okay. So something Nick without the freak.
Correct.
Maybe Sports Nick, Hoop Nick, or something like that, or just call it Spring Fest and be done with it.
Correct.
Meet me in Birmingham for the basketball tournament and Spring Fest, and see what you can do, and just make some events centered around it. I don't know how much it would cost, and how much planning it would actually take. And with the way these things jump and fly on social media, they can probably get that together pretty quick, man, and relatively inexpensive logistically.
Right. And here's the thing now. When they had these events in Atlanta and in Florida, they became so large that the cities ran from them. They didn't want them in their cities anymore because they blocked interstates. There were so many people that came into Atlanta. There were so many people that went down to Bethune that they blocked traffic. They clogged the city up. The city could not move. And that's the amount of people that attended those events. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 4 or 5 day event. And it was just wall-to-wall people. So the concept is a great one, just Spring Fest, as you said.
Yes, sir. No freak fest. Right. Or Freaknik, whatever call it.
Right.
I can hear you now, Coach. But where are you going, Coach? I'm going to Freaknik, Freak Fest in Birmingham. I'll see y'all in a couple of days.
No, if they kept the name, I wouldn't show up. Yep, if they kept the name, I would show up.
Oh, man. Well, Coach, we got some matchups coming up for this weekend. Any, ones that got your engine ready? I know you're looking at them Bulldogs as always as they open up, but any particular matchups you're looking at from men and women's side this weekend, sir?
Well, yeah, I think any time that the SWAC kicks off, I just think it's going to be great. Now, I think right off the bat, we're going to find out about how strong Bethune-Cookman is as they play host to Florida A&M. I think that's going to be a good matchup. And then you got to look at your Panthers have had a pretty nice preseason. They're at Grambling. So that, I think Bethune and Florida A&M, Prairie View at Grambling, I think Alcorn and Jackson. Those are going to be the big matchups to me. And then of course Southern fans are hosting Texas Southern, so those are the big games, I think. And then when you look at it on the women's side, the Jackson State and Alcorn State is going to be a big game. And then of course you already know that Southern's waiting on Texas Southern to come in there. So you got some interesting matchups.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Matchups. Now, Coach, I know you normally do basketball play-by-play for the Bulldogs. You still going to be geared up for that this season, sir?
Right. Well, yeah. I'll be the color analyst now. It's
yes, sir.
fast for me to do play-by-play, but yes, I'm still doing that. You know, I've done it all preseason. I'm looking forward to the beginning of the SWAC season. So it's going to be good, and I like being close to the action, seeing the players, and seeing everything live. It's a great experience, and it puts me back in that coaching seat when I'm over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know every now and then, Coach, you want to pull your whistle out and call a timeout and get a play in, but right. You got to sit over there and behave now. They ain't going to let you in, Coach, if you don't behave now.
I know. I have to do it. I've called plenty of timeouts in the preseason. Yep. But I'm looking forward to it, and we've got some fantastic coaches in this league, and I'm just looking forward to the battle because when you look at it, like on the men's side, when was the last time you had 4 teams in the SWAC, or 5 that have won 5 games in the preseason? So you look at right. Alabama State, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman, and Southern. They're going into the conference season with at least 5 wins. Southern has 6. And then
yes, sir.
And then when you look at what has happened on the women's side, we've got teams that have done the exact same thing. When you start talking about Bethune-Cookman with 9 wins, 9-4 in preseason, Grambling with 6, Jackson State with 5, and then my Bulldogs with 5, and then PV even has 4. So Arkansas Pine Bluff has 5 victories. So we have shown, or the coaches have shown, that they have gone out and gotten some good players, and they're playing great basketball. It has shown in the preseason, and that's why I think it's going to be a toss-up when it comes to the SWAC regular season.
Well, you know, my radar is going to be really focused and lasered in on Pine Bluff women's program. What Coach Dawn Thornton has been able to do, and she's got, as they say, one well of a player on that floor for her right now. I just want to see, as long as she can stay healthy, and see exactly what they'll be able to put together toward the end of the season.
Right, that fantastic run they made to the SWAC finals last year, they're piggybacking off of that, and that's why they've jumped out the gate, and they've got some great wins so far. And I'm like you, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Twin Towers can do again this year.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, as they say, man, time flies when we're having fun. You know, I got to give you your closing thoughts and comments for the first session of 2024, sir, and the floor is now yours.
Well, I just want to, once again, I want to thank the Almighty for giving us an opportunity to see 2024. And then in 2024, I just want to thank you for accepting your assignment and encourage you to continue doing what you're doing, because this is really, really needed out there. And you bring up some good points, and the public needs to understand and hear it from somebody who's been in the business for a while and has tested the waters and knows what's going on. And I just want to encourage you to continue doing what you're doing, Doc.
Well, sir, we will keep on doing it until they say we can't do it no more. And when I say they, I'm talking about He, the Almighty Himself. So it's going to always be a labor of love for us. We appreciate you for being a part of the journey. We appreciate you all for joining in with us each and every day here at the Open Mic. He is the guru, the Godfather, Coach Van Pettaway. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Don't forget, follow me on X at The Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And do visit our website for our 24-hour stream at obnradio.com. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.